So be it, Jedi.
What's going on, guys? Back in another video. Over the past couple weeks, we've had several releases and announcements from Hot Toys. So now that I have time, let's talk about it for a little bit. Starting off with Baylan Skoll from the Ahsoka series. This thing shocked collectors with how fast it released. I mean, we're talking 7-8 month release window. As for the figure, I think it looks great. R.I.P. Ray Stevenson. I think he brought a performance that really outshines pretty much everybody else in the series. And it's truly sad we're not going to be able to see him return to the role as Baylan Skoll. Personally, when these two figures, Baylan and Shin, were announced, I was kind of torn as to whether I would pick them up. I gotta say, I'm glad I didn't, just because it's been over a year now since the show is wrapped up, and personally, my hype for the figures and the characters has died off. Nonetheless, the figures look pretty good, and I think a lot of collectors are going to be looking forward to getting this in their collection. Next, we have the Night Trooper from the Ahsoka series. Again, another one that's not for me. It looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm all for troopers. This looks to be just the same mold as the Return of the Jedi Trooper without the green lenses. I think Hot Toys really missed the mark here with not including swap out parts. I think that if you had included a second helmet or maybe a couple gauntlet pieces, something to make the figures differentiate from one another, that would entice collectors to buy multiples if you already didn't. That being said, it looks good, but at the end of the day, it's a trooper, and I don't think it's for everybody. Now we have the big hitter, I think, and that is Savage Opress. We saw this teased a few weeks ago at one of the festivals in China. I forget, to be honest. It may have been in Japan. But nonetheless, this figure looks great. I think this will be a great companion piece to the Clone Wars Darth Maul and the Sidious that honestly should be coming out pretty soon, I would expect. It's a little behind schedule, but nevertheless, this figure looks great. Personally, I'm going to pass on it, as I will be selling my Clone Wars Maul when the Phantom Menace 2.0 comes out. And I just, as much as I think it's cool, I really can't afford to be picking up characters that are cool if I don't have an attachment to them, and I really don't. I think collectors are excited for this. I think it looks great. It's a big beastly figure, and it's like $280. Pretty reasonable price for what you're getting here. So I definitely think it's a home run from Hot Toys. Now we have the Mandalorian / Mandalorian Super Commando that personally I think is still overpriced. I think it's $265, and this thing is probably $30, $40 over what I would consider to be a fair price for a trooper. Nevertheless, it looks really good. Again, I think they missed the mark by not including swap out parts to entice collectors to purchase more than one, because to be honest, if you bought a pair of these, they're gonna look exactly the same, and that really isn't something that you would see with this iteration of Mandalorians. I think there would be some differences between armor, and that would help flesh out the collection a lot more. If you're excited and looking forward to it, by all means, I'm happy for you. Unless I missed anything, I think this is the last announcement that we have to talk about, and that is the Republic Commando that I think collectors wanted from the beginning. I think when they announced the Imperial Commando, collectors were just, dying to get a Republic Commando, so they jumped on it. Well, retrospectively, I think that collectors just wanted this from the get-go. We see customs selling for $400, $500, $600 of this iteration of Clone Commando all the time. I think the improvements that they have with the bulkiness and the armor and the bicep armor, it looks really good. I think it looks a lot better than the first iteration we saw with Imperial Commando. I gotta say, this looks cool. I'd really like to have it, but to be honest, something I'd really like to have more is just two plain white shiny clones. Phase 1's for my Anakin and Padme shelf. The versatility of having the Phase 2 helmets would work too. So as much as I like this and as much as I am tempted to pick it up, I'm going to pass. Because I've already made that mistake with the Umbra Arc Trooper. Purchasing a figure just because it's cool may be okay for a little while, but ultimately you're going to end up moving it on when something you really care about comes to fruition. That being said, guys, we've had a lot of talk about here. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you excited about these releases? Are you excited about these announcements? Are you picking these figures up? Are you waiting on them? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. As always, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. Helps out the channel more than you can imagine. And that's it. Hope I see you guys on the next one.